Welcome to the I Am Mother of the Year podcast, where we equip and encourage moms just like you to move from isolation, fear, comparison, and chaos to community, compassion, peace, and freedom. We're so glad you're here. Hi, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Jen, and this is the I Am Mother of the Year podcast.
And this month is the 1-year anniversary of Frozen 2.
Yes.
Which we love and also kind of love to hate, because how many times have you watched it this year alone?
Oh my gosh.
I believe, yes, quarantine did not help that, or it absolutely helped that. You can look at it with whatever perspective you want. But all to say, the more we watched, the more we realized, oh my gosh, there are so many amazing themes in here. It's so deep and rich. And so that's why we're doing this 5-part podcast series for Frozen 2's anniversary.
Yes.
And today we're going to be talking about Into the Unknown.
Yes, so this is number 2 of our 5-part series. And I'm so excited about this one because this is like the signature song, you know? Like, first one was Let It Go. Second one, I remember I went to Flick's Brew House and we're like doing the dinner, we're watching the screen, and we're like, is this going to be the song? Is this the song? And then we heard Into the Unknown. We were like, this is the song.
This is a song. And so I think we need to get ready.
Yes.
Why don't you take us there, Jen?
All right, let's do it. Queen Elsa of the Enchanted Forest.
Queen Anna of Arendelle, and I'm loving this.
Oh.
Because this is kind of your moment of glory.
Yes.
This is where,
Elsa's a perfectionist.
She is so a perfectionist.
She's like type 1 on the
Let
Enneagram.
it go.
The moral fight of good and bad.
Let it go. Let it go.
I'd rather go into the unknown.
Oh,
at this
boom,
point.
there it is.
And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Also queen of the transitions.
We have a podcast to shoot.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Into the Unknown, so good.
What a powerful song.
The secret siren wakes you from your sleep.
I throw the braid like, you know what? I'm not going to hear you. Not today.
Not today's secret siren.
Yes.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Everyone I've ever loved is here within these walls.
Right, you're so defiant.
Yeah.
You're mad.
She woke me up.
Why? Well, first.
First of all, I was very tired.
Hashtag kids.
Yes.
But second, like, you're mad.
I'm mad.
You're mad.
Like, stop.
Excuse me. It's a distraction.
Yeah.
You're like,
not a
no,
voice. No. You're just a ringing in my ear. And if I heard you, which I don't,
Huh.
I'm spoken for. Like, yeah. No. It's very no.
Yes.
I relate to this because
Yes.
my first 2 words to my now husband were not now.
With the finger point.
Like an armbar of a bus. Not now. He's like, hey, are you Jen? Not now. So that's what she's doing to the siren. Like this voice, this calling her into the unknown. No, I'm trying to sleep.
Right.
I'm safe and happy here. I got a good thing going.
Right.
I finally figured out how to like harness my power and conceal, don't feel. So no, why would I ruin that?
Let's stop there.
Oh.
Conceal, don't feel.
Yeah.
That's what you've learned.
Yes.
I reject that fully.
Also, I don't know who we're talking about anymore, Jen or Elsa, because we're basically...
Well, take it however you want to. Both. Conceal, don't feel. That's not living. You've learned to harness and sit on your fear and hold it like this so that you can keep everybody safe. And no, that's not living. And guess what? That sounds like motherhood. You just want to keep your babies safe, and you want to keep them in the house, and you want to hold everything tight, and you don't want anything to change, and you're not going anywhere into the unknown because, excuse me, no, we're happy here. And if we're not happy, we're going to at least pretend that we're happy, and maybe we even think that we're happy, and we think that we're living, and we're like...
And I don't want to feel the fear of the unknown.
Exactly.
Don't feel.
Conceal, don't feel. Just put on the gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we all have the gloves we put on.
Yes.
Right?
Oh. So true. I didn't see that coming.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to think, like, what are the gloves I put on so I don't have to feel anything?
Distraction for me.
Oh, yeah, you do. Sorry. Yes,
I
you
do
do love distraction.
Let's task. I don't know what you're talking about.
Says the honest friend who knows you well.
Oh, yeah, you do that.
Totally.
All the time.
Good. You want to call me out for mine?
You pick and choose what you feel.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I think sometimes you hide away.
I'm a hider.
You hide from the feeling.
Yes, I do.
Oh, there it is. Yes.
Like, I'm hiding. Did you see my countenance right now go,
Shrink.
yes, I am not. What am I saying? I'm a hider. I'm so a hider.
Yeah.
So you're a distractor. I'm like, look at the list. I'm doing it. And I'm like, don't look at me.
Yes.
I'm hiding in here, but I'm going to put out the Violet.
Oh, yeah,
that's
the
her name.
force
The force
field.
field from Incredibles 2. Violet.
Shield.
She's like, watch this. Look at me. Look at the purple dancing
you don't
ball
see me
around me.
translucent.
Yeah. Don't look at that. Just because I'm in here going, oh, please, no, I'm scared of the unknown.
Yes.
And you're like, I'm not going to deal with the unknown. I'm going to task.
Yes.
Look at this amazing list I did.
Do you think there's any unknown in motherhood?
You know, I haven't found that to be the case.
Oh, no, because you're busy hiding.
Whoa. Oh, Elsa came to play. Okay, I thought this was a game of charades, but no, this is a game of shooting arrows. Cool. Oh, I'm ready.
I didn't mean it like that.
No, you're
We're
right.
sisters.
Exactly.
This is just what sisters do.
We fight and then we make up. I save her life twice. Spoiler alert.
Fine, both movies.
And I'm totally never ever gonna let her live it down.
She's the hero. It's true. Okay, there's unknown in motherhood.
There's unknown, and you're right. I don't feel unknown sometimes in motherhood because I'm too busy hiding from it.
I'm distracted.
And you're like, I made you 40 lists of things we could do today, Jonah.
Yeah.
Instead of feeling the unknown, like even the unknown of a day. Like, how does that feel for you? The unknown of a day.
Oh.
Like, if you didn't make a list for the day.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
What? That's not a funny hypothetical.
Medic.
Oh yeah, I rest in routine. I want to like plan something, and then I want it to happen, and then I'm happy.
Well, that also sounds like realistic mothering to me. You just make a plan, and then everybody goes,
Sure, Mom.
what a great idea.
Let's do it exactly as you said. Nap for 2 hours, 12 to 2. I'll do that.
Yes. Oh, it's 11:59. I better close my eyes now and go nighty-night. Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah, it would.
It doesn't happen now.
Have you ever had a day where that's happened, like in motherhood? Because you probably have, alone all day, every day, you're rocking the things. Let's not, we know. But in motherhood, with your children and like whole family, you've made a list, you've made the plan, and they all follow it to a T.
Not 100%. But
Okay.
there are good days and bad days. Sometimes you're like, yeah, I gave 30 minutes of padding because I'll find ways to like pad my list so that we have a better chance of actually following it and making it.
Wow.
Yeah, I add 30 minutes of padding for different things. So there have been sometimes I can cheat the system, have a really lenient list, and then those are the good days.
Okay.
And then other times it's a blowout diaper, and you're
just
a
like
flat tire.
forget the whole thing.
Yeah, never
And
mind.
at that point, do you pull the list out and light it on fire? Or no? You freeze it with your, this is like Spider-Man. Do you do this? Is it not this? That's Spider-Man. Or
This is like you're brewing the ice power. This is the ice pose. But then, hiya! I think that's the.
Okay.
Yeah.
now I know.
Yeah.
I'll never be able to do it because I don't have magical powers.
Yeah.
But okay.
Can we move on?
No, we're not done with you yet. Ms. I make lists and you just hide. It's true though. I'm going to ask this gently and lovingly, as only a sister would. Is in the list making, in the protection that you put up against the unknown,
The padding.
is that living? Does that feel like living to you? Because part of that is in your wiring. So I'm going to give you that, you were created to make lists and plans and ninja everything, and that is you, being awesome.
Yeah.
But is it a double-edged sword? Is there part of that that's preventing the actual living of life?
My first instinct is no. Shut your mouth, you're frozen. How's that heart? You want it happen again? You got the streak out
Can we
your
get the
hair,
baby
but-
powder for the hair?
I use cornstarch.
Is it cornstarch?
I did
Okay.
cornstarch this morning. Yeah. My first reaction is no, because my family is happier when I plan some things. When it's like, what are we gonna do tonight? They look to me for the agenda, because if I was like, I don't know, I went on strike. What list? They'd be like, it would not go well for our family makeup. Okay. So I mean, my gut is, that's living, because I bought the tickets so we could go see the movie. And, if you didn't make this reservation, we wouldn't be able to go out to dinner.
You're welcome.
Most of that is no, if we didn't plan for this, it wouldn't happen. And I don't make lists on a lot for my family. It's more like, okay, if I have the kids alone for all of Saturday, then I'm going to chunk out the day in sections, and I'll give Jonah the choices. Last Saturday it was, do you want to go to the splash pad? Because, okay, I know it's cold now when you're watching this, but in this magical world of Arendelle,
I invited him to the enchanted forest where we live.
We could choose our temperature.
In the summer.
Okay, so I said splash pad or pond, go to Saxony Beach or whatever, go to the lake. And he chose the beach, and so I packed up both kids, but you have to plan. Bring water toys and the swim diapers and all the snacks. So that's planning. And then I packed up the car, and I had to make sure it was open. I had to see what the cost was for wristbands. That's living for us, because we got to do a fun thing. Yeah. So I'm I could see how I got to keep it in check. It can be a double-edged sword. If I was it's Friday night and we have to do ifs in 5-minute increments, then yes, you can be extreme, and that's not living.
That sounds like a fun Friday night.
I think I used to. Okay, here if you want some vulnerability.
Yes, I do.
I used to schedule in college, in my most stressful finals week kind of time. I would schedule out bathroom breaks and 20-minute naps, and basic needs: eat a snack, take a shower. All of that was scheduled out in a very detailed 5-minute increment list. And I could not stray into that is where it's unhealthy. I'm 30 years old now, so I think I've
way past her prime.
Learned and had to mature and had to figure out that balance of lists, because yes, what you're hinting at, it can be negative, but you have to find the balance and what works for your family and for you. So there's my sermon for the disciplined mamas out there who are
there you go. Good work. And I'm just trying to shoot holes in you, because it makes me feel better about not being I'm a little list maker, But going, that's not living. Just let the house catch on fire. What kind of fun adventure is that? We just think the hot firefighters would have never come to our house.
That was a surprise. Okay, my
Just
question
tell the story. No, tell the hot firefighter story.
No, we've derailed. Look at this. We have so much to cover.
We have a list.
Stick to the list. All right.
Okay, all right.
Here's my question for you. What is the unknown in your motherhood? What is the fear of the unknown? I get to take a break.
She's asking you. She's not asking me.
No, I'm asking you.
Oh, me. My fear.
What's the unknown that's
It's, for me, there's two. There's the fear of, anything in the future, obviously, is unknown, but my biggest fears in motherhood are, losing my identity. So by the time I raise my kids and, be free, little, now grown adults, go make a difference in the world. I'm I don't know who I am. I don't know anything about myself or my husband. I have lost my identity. So I work really hard on that to make sure that doesn't happen. But I've got a lot of mothering left before I launch my children into the world. So there's that. And then there's the other part of I am so scared of messing up my kids. Because I remember the stupidest things from my childhood that have somehow made a mark on me. And I'm why? But I'm I know my dad didn't mean that. I know my mom, I know what she meant now, but then it sounded like this, and then I took it like this, and that made me feel like this. And but I remember that in adulthood as a 6-year-old, so now I'm oh my gosh, now I have a 6-year-old. what am I going to say that's going to send her straight to counseling, you know?
She's going to remember this.
She's going to remember this. And then what if that affects her self-esteem? And then what if, like, and then I spiral and spiral and spiral. And that is the unknown for me. And then I just go hiding.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's no amount of hiding that's going to stop the future, though, if we can just say that. And that is, I did not like hearing that when it came out of my mouth.
Like, oh, there it is.
Can somebody write that down? That's good. I need to put that on my wall or something.
So we want you to be thinking too, what is the fear of your unknown? Like, what's your unknown? It's always unsettling. I don't like entering a dark room. Like, no, I want to flip a light on before I progress. Like, I want to see what's around. I don't think anyone likes the unknown.
No.
But what can we rest in?
Exactly. Well, and this I love, because we're going to get to the switch of, like, we started defiant, you're mad, you're marching the walls of the castle, not now, excuse me, but then you decide, you know what, I think I need to get a little curious, and you ask a question.
Yes.
So I'm going to read that.
Okay.
It's like, so what do you want? Because you've been keeping me awake. So it's still a little defiant, but you're asking the question. But then that brings you into this curiosity that you start has now entered you into this state of vulnerability. Like, are you here to distract me so I make a big mistake?
Which, pause, in motherhood, is the mistake that you're going to mess up your kids?
Right, exactly.
Like, what pressure we put on ourselves as moms. Like, what is the unknown that we're so afraid of? Like, what's the fear of, like, if I let that in, because I'm defiant, I'm pushing it away, it's like, what's the root of that? What's behind that?
Right.
If you let down your guard a little bit, and you leaned in and you got curious, I love that she switches to vulnerability and says, are you here to distract me so I make a big mistake? So if making a big mistake is messing up your kids, are we saying, hey job, hey career, are you here to distract me from motherhood so that I mess up my kids?
Right.
Hey girls night, are you here to distract me?
Yeah. Well, and the list could go on and on and on. Anything that feels selfish, which self-care feels selfish sometimes, even the most basic things, like if I go run and take a 20-minute shower, like, what could, like, and we do that. We see any unknown, likely we go to the worst case scenario, but then that stops us from living.
Yes.
Not just doing something for ourselves, doing something for others. Anything that's fear-based, there's so much of it in our day that we choose to go, nope, I'm gonna stay. Nope, I'm gonna push that down. And it's like, I mean, and for me, and then eventually for you, it was like, this podcast, like, this has been in my brain for 2 years. I've wanted to do this for 2 years. Finally, right? Is the podcast gonna distract me? Is it gonna make me a worse mother because da-da-da? No, it's not. Like, now that we're in the unknown, I can confidently tell you that I've never felt more alive. You know, I can confidently tell you I've never been a better mother because of who I'm allowing myself to be and who I'm allowing to call me out into the unknown.
Yeah,
which is God.
Focusing on these really important topics, having these conversations with you.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
But it's in the allowing of, like, God is calling you, whether you know God or not, whether you know his voice or not, totally fine. Wherever you're at, I do want you to know that God created you on purpose, for a purpose, in love, and has something for you to do that only you can do on this planet. And don't let that be pressure to you. Let that be this amazing invitation to go, okay, what is it? What is it? I have goosebumps just asking that question. What is it? Because you're going to ask and he's going to tell you. And he's going to show you. And it's not going to be, look, here it is. Here's your grand design. It's like, no. Hey, come just a little bit closer.
One more step.
Just come this way. I know you can't see right now in the dark, but let me show you my faithfulness. I'm going to show you just one next step. And just come and come and come. And it's so Darren Earlymine had this in a sermon in this beautiful line. It's in the following, like Jesus is calling you. It's in the following that you are going to get and discover everything you've ever wanted. But that's in the unknown. That's not where's my 47-step plan for life?
Yeah.
And it's not in the list, and it's
Right.
not in the hiding. It's in the faith and in the trusting. It's in the knowing of his voice. Like, so get to know, like, there's a stirring. There's a stirring in Elsa in the song, and she's like, I don't think I'm where I'm meant to be. Something about her feels unsettled in this song. And she chooses to ask the questions, to get curious about it, and then, like, what did she say at the end? Like, how do I follow you into the unknown? Like, I need to get there. So by the time she's asking these questions, she's feeling herself come alive, she's getting energized, and her faith at that point is stronger than her fear.
Yeah.
And she's like, how do I get there? Because I know you have something for me. What is it? Let's go. And she does. She charges into the unknown.
Yeah.
Boom!
Boom!
Sorry, I'm like giving myself some goosebumps there. That's good.
I love the progression of this song, even musically. Like we talked about.
Yeah.
It's skeptical, it's accusatory, it's absolutely defiant. Like, nope, whatever you're trying to sell, I'm not buying.
Yeah.
And then she asks questions. So number 2 is curiosity. Defiance, curiosity.
Yeah.
What I love is the line that we talked about with the whole, is it messing up your kids in translation? But like, are you here to distract me so I make a big mistake?
Yeah.
What a vulnerable question. What if you said that in your day-to-day life?
Yeah. Yeah. What if you, and said it to the girls' night, right? Or said it
out loud.
the job.
Or prayed it to God. Like,
Right.
God, is this on my plate to distract me so that I make a mistake and mess up my kids and become a bad mother?
Right.
And then let that sit. The answer is probably going to be no.
Right. Especially if it's something good.
Yes.
If it's something bad, then probably, you're going to be like, oh, yeah.
That's conviction.
I
No,
might have some
shouldn't.
changes to make.
Yeah.
But likely the things that you're scared of are not the bad things. The things that you're scared of are the good things.
Yes.
Because this is a Marianne Williamson quote, but it's often, I'm going to botch it, but to paraphrase, she says, most of the time, we're more afraid of our light than our darkness. Like, we are so more afraid of shining than of being dark and mean and evil. And like,
It's
so our
easier
fear of the unknown is more a fear of the most amazing things that could ever happen to us.
Yeah.
And that is just saying yes to the invitation. And that is what Elsa did in the song.
Yeah.
And it started with the unknown. Everything crashes down around her.
Yeah.
There's fear, there's tremor, like the people gather, nobody knows what to do. But she's like, well, the call is coming from this way, so I'm just gonna go see what that's about.
Go follow it.
You guys wanna come with me? Cool, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she does.
I just love that in this progression, vulnerability is the pivot.
Yeah.
And I think that's important as moms to hear, because sometimes I feel like, no, I have to be really tough and I have to be the rock and people lean on me.
Right.
But when you switch from this leader mentality to then asking questions and getting vulnerable, sometimes it'll allow you to follow. Like, oh, I was vulnerable and I let my walls down and my guard down. And now I'm going to lean in and I'm going to soften and I'm going to follow. And then I'm going to pick up steam and I'm going to charge. Like she does.
Right. And even in your following, you're leading.
Yeah.
Like, you're following the Lord and people are still following you.
Yes, that's such a good point.
And that is about us being image bearers of God. Like, He created us in His image, and women especially, we were created to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And in that's not weak, that's strength.
Yeah.
It takes so much strength to be vulnerable, and in the soft vulnerability, we gather, like we are natural gatherer, nurturers, so then our families can follow.
Yeah.
But we know where we're taking them step by step, because we're following God's voice.
Yeah. In the book Captivating, it talks about Eve's name and how it translates to helper. And I'm like, I just love that image of like, as we're following God, we're the helper.
Right.
And we're helping to lead people to Him.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do in this podcast.
Come on now.
So our closing thought is that regardless of the unknown in your motherhood with your kids, you can rest in the fact of who you are and whose you are. And we want you to ask God, whether you know Him or not, can I follow you into the unknown? Will you lead me into the unknown?
Right. How can we get there?
Yeah.
Can we get there together?
Yeah.
And that's why we're doing the podcast. And that's why Anna and Elsa also want to tell you, if you don't believe anything else today, believe at least that you are a really good mom.
Thanks for listening to the I Am Mother of the Year podcast with Lisa and Jen. If you love what you hear and want insider access to more conversations just like these, exclusive Mother of the Year merch, and access to the I Am Mother of the Year podcast one day early, join the growing community of patrons who support our movement at patreon.com/I Am Mother of the Year. Talk to you next week.